And then Amanda and Danielle start yelling at each other because Amanda said, I asked Owen, was he actually married for 2 years, but knew each other for 4? And Owen's response to me was, well, have you heard of something called COVID? And then Danielle said, well, they keep yelling at each other. And I wrote down, this is actually the worst wedding celebration I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, horrible, horrible.
Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
And we are here to talk about In the City, Season 1, Episode number 7, You Only Get Married Twice. But before we do that, we'd like to ask everyone to please head over to YouTube and hit subscribe and follow us on all platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and give us 5-star reviews and tell your friends. Thank you very much.
Yada,
Can I
yada,
just say
yada.
one thing before we start?
You can say anything you want. It's your podcast. How about that?
Good point. So I reached out to Kim D Paola from Jersey on Facebook to ask her when her podcast with Rachel Fuda was coming out because we love both of them. And she said she messaged me back today saying it's out. So we plan on listening to that and then recapping her podcast. So you can listen if you want. If you're not interested, no problem. But I'm very interested in that podcast.
Yes.
And I also started today Dear Albie's podcast with Joe Giudice from the Bahamas. Now, it's part 1 of 2 episodes. It's less than a half hour. I think I have about 10 minutes left. Listen, Joe Giudice, it's going to be a great podcast because it's Joe Giudice and he says ridiculous things. If anybody out there is wondering if Joe Giudice is the same person he was when he was on the show, yes, the answer is yes.
Still juicy,
He
Joe?
basically says that nobody knew about Housewives until New Jersey came out. Nobody knew about those OC girls. And then Jersey came out. And Albie tries to correct him and was like, I think Atlanta and New York came out before Jersey, which in fact they did. And he's like, no, we were next. Nobody even knew until the table flipped. Nobody even knew who Housewives were. He is the same person and he is still riding for Teresa. So, but I'm here for it. I love Juicy Joe. I'll listen. But he was wrong. But you can't tell him he's wrong. He's one of those guys.
No.
Can't tell Teresa he's wrong either.
Yeah, I will definitely listen. I'm here for this. Did they
Yeah.
bring up Melania at all?
Not yet. I mean, it's only the first one. I have a feeling they're not going to because this was taped a while ago, I believe.
Okay.
So before the incident, probably. Yeah.
I don't think it was before the incident. I think maybe they taped it, they recorded it prior to the public knowing anything.
Okay.
But I don't know. I could be wrong. I plan on listening to part 2 when it's dropped as well. So we'll see. But it's a good listen because Joe Giudice is ridiculous. And we love him for it.
I agree. I've been watching Melania on TikTok and listen, she looks good. I think she looks really good. She appears to me to be a typical 20-year-old. I mean, this is what I get from her. She's, a 20-year-old kid living her life, going down the Jersey Shore. The one that she did do with Louis was a little bit odd.
That was weird.
Anything with Louis is a little bit odd, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
But the other TikToks she's doing seem to be typical 20-year-old TikToks. So I'm still Team Melania.
I'm definitely Team Melania, but I'm going to say this. If what happened is part of this next season, I'm going to say that it was made for TV, made for your entertainment purposes. I'm just going to say that. If it's not on the season, because they're filming right now, they were filming in May, then I'm going to say this really happened.
I think that they were filming. I was just going to say that because I saw Melissa's Instagram right after I came home from Tom's River the other night after that big storm, and I saw all her kids holding the umbrella. I'm sure you saw that, trying to keep the umbrella from flying. And then I saw all the kids there. I don't think it didn't give me any indication that they were still filming, right?
If not, they were definitely filming in May when this occurred.
Yeah. Well, Kim D said it wasn't on
see.
camera. Kim D said it wasn't on camera.
Right. So it wasn't on
It shouldn't
camera,
be a
which
part. It
okay,
shouldn't be a
but
part of the story.
is the aftermath part of it? Like, if this is displayed on this season of Real Housewives of New Jersey, I'm gonna say that this is for Teresa's storyline. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't for her child's
I
sake.
hope it isn't too.
I also wanted to say happy birthday, USA. We're recording this on July 5th, but yesterday was our 250th birthday. So God bless America and God bless the USA.
Yes.
Okay, in the city. So we started out at the Garret, which, by the way, I would like to do maybe in September when it's a little bit cooler out. I would like to do a Gavin bar crawl. I would like to go to some of the bars that Gavin owns, one of which is the Garret. That one's in the West Village. Lindsay's sitting there and he comes in, and then Kyle comes in, and then Kenny arrives. Kenny shows up with his hair braided. I thought it
I
looked
fucking
good.
loved that. I
Yeah,
love
I
him
did
in the
too.
braids. But then the
Yeah.
next time we saw him, they were out. I liked him so
Yeah.
much better in the braids.
I like the
Either
braids
or.
too.
Either or, I'm good.
I
Okay.
thought he looked really good with the braids.
So the boys are updating Lindsay as to what happened with Owen about answering questions without answering. And at the same time, we see Owen and Danielle are having a beer, and Danielle is saying how, you know, it's difficult trying to have babies while you're still married to Owen. So, we knew he was still married, right? She's like, I just want to try and plan for the future. I just don't like, first of all, I don't like that the guys are sitting there like filling in Queen Lindsay about what was happening. I think that's very, very produced. I just think it's very
Of
produced.
course it is.
Her time with the boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course it is. It's very
Yeah.
produced.
The whole show is produced, so.
Yeah.
So, right. So Lindsay says, listen, if this was a girls' night, we would have gotten to the bottom of this, right? Like, and the boys are just like, yeah, okay. So Gavin says, well, why don't you Google, Owen Heavey, the wedding date? Well, why didn't you do that, Gavin? You don't have Google on your
Exactly.
phone?
Right.
I mean, seriously. So obviously, Lindsay Googles and, she found the hair lady of the person who did his wife's hair, and that she flew to, is it Marbella? Marbella? I have no idea.
Marbella.
For her gorgeous
Somebody
Marbella. Okay.
corrected, yeah.
Marbella for her gorgeous client and her bridal party ahead of her big day in June of 2023. Now, that does not add up with his timeline because he told them he was married for 4 years, right? And this is 2025 that they're talking, and that they're filming this. So Lindsay in her confessional said, even though Danielle and I have, a dysfunctional friendship, I still care about her. And I want to make sure she's protecting herself. What are your thoughts? Do you think she wants to make sure Danielle's protecting herself
from what?
She's a grown-ass
from
woman.
Owen? Right.
She's
Yeah,
a grown-ass
like
woman.
as if he's like a clout chaser.
Like as if
Something.
she didn't know the true story.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying that with Lindsay at all.
No. Right. So Kenny says, well, listen, I have a great PI. Like, we'll get this solved in 2.2 seconds. And then Kenny goes on to tell the story about to tell Lindsay about how he met up with his father and all that situation. And then Lindsay opens up a little bit about her mom, which I was glad that she did that. Like, we knew a little bit about her mom and her not having a relationship, but we really didn't know that much because she
No,
never
we
talked
didn't.
about it on Summer
No.
House.
She really didn't. That's
No,
why I was hoping
so-
she was going to talk about it on Carl's podcast, but I'm glad we got it here.
Yeah, I am too. So Lindsay opens up a little bit and, she said she hadn't talked to her mom in 10 years. And at that point, she hadn't talked to her mom in 8 years before that. So she really does not have a relationship with her mom.
So in 18 years, she had one conversation with her mother in 2016 on camera on Summer House.
Yeah.
In 18 years.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That is
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So Gavin says, I'm sorry, Lindsay. Like, I guess, there's no path to reconciling forward. And she's like, no. And I don't blame her. I mean, I certainly don't blame her. I mean, she's a grown woman at this point. Like,
No, because
no.
you got to think her mom might come crawling out of the woodwork now because she's got a daughter, but I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It actually, I mean, I don't know, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bethany's story with her mom. of all the issues she had with her mom and, her mom not really coming out. But she did wind up ultimately having a small bit of a relationship with her mom before she passed away for her daughter's sake. I don't know. It's a tough situation. It's a tough
It
situation. I
definitely
just like
is.
that. I like that she's opening up about it and putting it out there because she's not the only one dealing with this, and I'm sure it'll help somebody else not feel alone. Back at Nick and Yvonne's apartment, he pours them some limoncello. That I
I
know.
like limoncello too.
You
I
do,
like
okay,
limoncello.
so maybe
Out of the
next week
freezer.
next week for our podcast. So I bought lemon. I bought, what are they? Limoncello martinis, like pre-made, and I brought them to Frank's. I brought 2 bottles. I brought 2 bottles to Frank's, but we only drank 1 bottle. So I brought the other bottle home. So, and
Nice.
also I have a bottle of limoncello. So maybe next podcast we will do limoncello martinis. Does that sound good?
Yes.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And
Amazing.
we'll all wear
Perfect.
yellow. We'll be
Oh,
Yeah,
yellow.
we'll
I don't
wear
know.
lemon. We'll do a whole Capri
Yes.
themed
I
episode.
There you
I
go.
don't own yellow. I own every color but yellow.
All right,
I'm
we'll
going with
yellow.
green. I'll wear
Yeah,
green.
yeah.
I'll wear
That'll
green.
work good. That'll work
All
good.
right.
I'll wear green. Sorry, I don't have yellow.
Real quick though, when Yvonne talks, I'm like, God, she sounds like somebody. Who does she sound like? It finally hit me. She sounds like Drew Barrymore when she talks.
You think?
You might not hear it
I'm gonna have to
now.
listen and think of it next time.
You're
Yeah.
gonna hear it next time you listen to her talk. She's got that. It's not like I don't know what it is. She talks like Drew Barrymore, though. And I love
I'm
the
gonna
way
have
Drew
to listen for
Barrymore
that.
talks. So I was very like in tune to Yvonne. I'm like, I do love the way she talks. I'm like, but it sounds like somebody. That's who it is.
Then we see Kyle goes to Greenpoint, Brooklyn, to Soft Bar, and he meets up with Carl. I like this. I like that he showed up at Soft Bar. I like that Carl's getting this PR for his bar.
Yes. Add that to our bar crawl too.
Yes, except for, I did find out too from one of his podcasts, he's not open on Mondays. So remember we were going to go on a Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They're not open on Mondays. So we got to keep that in mind.
I feel like Sunday. Well, let's wait until September because
Then we'll
I think
see.
Let's wait
then
until
if we go on
September.
a Sunday, we'd have a good chance of seeing him there.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to figure out
But
this
not
whole
until
route for
after Summer House wraps.
Yes. We'll have to figure this out. In September is also San Gennaro Festival. I mean, we
How
could
you
just make
doing? It's always
God,
about
we
the
might
food.
have to. We really might have to get a
Okay.
room and just go for a
Get
couple
some
Oh,
days.
maybe we
Zeppelis.
do a weekend. Maybe do a
Some
weekend.
Zeppelis.
What I think that's what we need to look at that
Yeah.
weekend. Okay. We're getting distracted, which isn't that.
Yeah, we really are. We really food and booze. We're like
Yeah. Ooh.
squirrel.
Yes, exactly.
So Carl asked Kyle how it's going. He's like, he's trying to do the best that he can. And Carl's like, listen, I know that you love her, but and I know that you would do anything for her, but are you in love with her? Like, that is the question. And Kyle says, like, I'm fighting for it. But Carl says, yeah, but are you in love with her? Like, that really? And he's like, you know what? I don't know. Like, that really is the problem. I don't know. I mean, I do love her and I do care about her, but, maybe that's it.
Listen,
And
you haven't had sex with your wife since you
Yeah.
got married. You're not in love with her, and she's not in love with you. You love each other. You care for each other, but there's nothing like push it. There's no like passion. There's no,
Nothing left. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
Listen, those two are doing whatever it is they're doing because they need to get their paycheck. That
Yes,
relationship has
Yes.
been over since before this In the City show started. They have to figure out what to do to keep the paycheck going. It's all a facade. It's all
And
as far as I'm
really,
concerned, it's all BS.
I mean,
the whole entire thing.
I haven't always been a big Kyle fan, as Wendy's well aware of. I wasn't even going to watch Summer House because I couldn't stand him. Amanda's the one who has to worry about a paycheck. Kyle's always going to have a paycheck because Kyle is Summer House. And now, I mean, there's no place for Amanda on In the City if she's not with Kyle, in my opinion. These are not
Well-
Amanda's friends.
Not after her recent debacle. No, there's certainly no place for her.
So I did see online that Summer House is filming right now. Remember, we thought that they were going to delay it because they always start 4th of July weekend, but they are filming. And I also read that Amanda's not back. Amanda's not on Summer House. So no Amanda, no West.
Yep. So
I'm here for it. I'm here for
I'm
it.
totally here for it. Because listen, we're finally going to see Kyle acting single while not married. We've seen Kyle act single while married.
While married,
Now we're
right.
going to see Kyle act single not being married. This is great. This is how it was always
Yes.
supposed to be.
And
Yeah.
listen, to all the women out there going after Kyle, listen, you know what you're going after. So don't
That's right.
complain when you get this F-boy, because that's who he is.
'Cause
I
that's
mean,
who he is,
it's
right.
already been said that he was with Ava Dash from Next Gen NYC.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's
The
crazy.
age
It's
difference.
crazy.
Over 20 years?
Well, it's not even the 8. Oh, yeah. More, I'm sure. Yes, 20 years. But Ava Dash, I know you don't watch Next Gen NYC, but she is like, she's a spoiled brat. She's the one on that show I like the least on Next Gen NYC.
Well,
She
her
thinks she's-
father co-founded Rockefeller. I mean, come on. The money's flowing.
But it's not, and that's the problem. If you read that, I mean, it's not flowing right now. I mean, no, it's not. That's the problem.
Interesting.
Exactly. So then next thing we see is Kenny and Lindsay. They sit down and they're talking, which is nice because this is really the first time they're sitting down one-on-one. And they're kind of talking about, their stories, right? Her story with her mom and, how it happened. And she said, she stopped talking to her mom for good when she was 22. But then she really gets emotional and she starts crying. She's like, I need to just really kind of focus on myself and my career. But after I had Gemma, like that really, I could never leave my daughter. I could never do that. And how could my mother do, what kind of person can do
Yeah, she
that?
said
And
that
It almost
her parents had her and her brother by the time she was 3, and her mom just couldn't do it. Her mom left and then would tell them that they would tell her that she and her brother ruined her life.
yeah.
yes.
'Cause it almost
mean-
makes it worse. I don't know, like, it makes it very poignant, like, once you have a child. Like, you had the abandonment issue before, but I think it really drives it home because once you have a child, you're like, you know how truly fucked up it is. Because now you look at your child and you think to yourself, "Oh my god." Like, I thought it was horrible that my mother left me, but now that I have a kid of my own, how? Like, how? It makes it I feel like
I
it
would
makes it
do
even worse.
anything for this child. I would
Yeah,
do
it makes it worse.
anything for this kid.
Mhm.
But she left.
Yeah. Right. And listen, I mean, the fact that, Lindsay, we've seen so many different versions of Lindsay, right? And we know that she's in therapy and she knows that this has affected her relationships. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Because, why, how could it not? I mean, how could
Yeah.
it not? Right?
Her and Kenny are both very aware, which is awesome. Like they were talking about how you actually kind of like test them, like you almost like pick fights and stuff to test them to try and push them to see if they're going to leave. And, Lindsay was saying, how she knows it's always going to affect her, but she has to manage it, control it, and recognize it. Like they're both very aware of how their past has affected them as who they are now and who they're going to be. So I think that's really great. And I think that's a great thing to talk about because, like Wendy said, there's a lot of people who have the same kind of issues. So I like when they talk about things like this.
Yeah, me too.
I do too. What else? Okay, then we see it's the night of Yvonne and Nick's wedding celebration. They're at a place called Dilly Dilly in Times Square. Okay, Danielle walks in, and she's wearing a white dress. That's the first thing I wrote. What were your thoughts? Was that dress white or pink?
Well, wait a second. Before even that, or maybe it was after. How about when Kyle comes? At first, Amanda says in her confessional, "You know what? I don't want to make everybody around me uncomfortable. I don't want to make it about us." Kyle comes in, doesn't say hi to her right away, which, granted, yes, he should have. He should have been looking for her. But she's like, "Hi." Like, okay, you're not going to make it about you, but then you make it about you.
I have the
that was before,
same exact thing written down.
Right?
Amanda
Like,
says, "I
what
don't
is
want to
that?
make it awkward," and then makes everyone around her feel awkward.
Awkward.
Hi, Kyle. Hi,
Right, by
Kyle.
Yeah, by parroting his name. Like, so what are you
Shut
even
up.
talking about? Yeah.
Right. I have the same thing
Yeah.
written down. So funny.
I know. She's unreal. So what was it? Pink or white? What are your thoughts?
I think when she walked in, it looked white.
Okay.
In the picture, it looked pink, and
But now
Yvonne co-signed the picture.
Right, but in the picture, this is what I've seen online. People are posting the picture that Danielle texted to Yvonne. And in the picture, in the very upper right-hand corner, there's a hanging plant. And the hanging plant is like fluorescent orange green, which means that when you
It's
took the
reflecting.
picture, no, you adjusted the color. You adjusted the That's a far out conspiracy theory that people are throwing
Oh
out
my
there.
gosh,
That
that's
So
totally far out.
So
that
they're
when she
saying
took the
that she adjusted the
picture,
color of the dress when in the
she
picture that she sent to Yvonne.
right, and made it look pinker than it. But it really, the bottom line is, if you have to ask,
Yes.
then you
Which is
shouldn't
what
have worn
Lindsay
it.
said.
And
Which is
what?
what
And
Lindsay
it
said.
doesn't matter that Yvonne said, "Sure, it's stunning." What is she gonna say? "Fuck you, don't wear that." What are you supposed to say to that? Like
It's just so funny
it's
because
a
Tess and I
no-win.
have this conversation all the time because Tess has been going to a lot of weddings between she and her boyfriend. And I've sent her pictures of dresses. Like it'll be like a yellow dress and she'll be like, no, it's too close to white. I'm like, it's yellow. Like, what are you
Yellow.
talking about?
Right,
Like,
right.
but I wear black to everything. So she's like, it's too close to white. Like to me, it's not that big of a deal. And I was totally the bride that if somebody wanted to wear a white dress to my wedding, okay. Like to me, if you feel that insecure about someone else wearing white to your wedding, I don't get that. Like
Right,
I'm
you don't
I'm the
comprehend,
fucking
right,
bride. I'm gonna make
right,
sure everybody knows who I am, and
right, white dress
everybody
or
at my
not.
wedding knew who was
Right,
the
right.
bride. Yeah. But that's just me.
My
Plus,
other
this was like a
problem
dinner. Like it wasn't, I
right.
don't know. Whatever.
My other problem was I saw people walking in with fur coats on. So to me, I'm thinking to myself, are they filming in the fall? The winter?
Well, they are. It was after
Well, then
September.
it doesn't
I mean,
really matter what
so
color
it's
that
probably
dress
November.
was, because if it wasn't black or a very dark color, that is a summer dress.
It
It
was a
is not a
summer dress.
it is not a winter dress. So then what are you doing doubly? That was my other thought. I was like,
It was a
"Mm,
summery looking dress. I agree. It wasn't
yeah,
fall or winter looking.
no,
Maybe
no, no,
winter
no."
white. I don't know. I don't know.
No, because it was gauzy and flowy and chiffony, and that's not a winter,
Yeah.
unless it's black or a dark color.
Okay, so we all agree that that was not the appropriate dress to be
Yeah.
wearing.
She
No,
shouldn't have worn the
no,
dress. She
no, she
definitely
shouldn't have worn
shouldn't
the
have
dress.
worn the dress.
No.
Okay. Um,
Danielle starts saying that Lindsay was being cold again.
Yeah,
yes.
I saw that.
But really, it wasn't her really being cold. She was kind of feeding off of Yvonne's energy about the dress.
Mhm.
She was,
Right?
because Georgina
Yeah.
offered to spill wine on it, which I
Right.
thought was
As a
so
solid
Georgina.
friend would do. Fucking
Right.
Georgina, she
So
wins this show
so
for sure.
Georgina coded, right?
Mhm.
But I think the reason Danielle was also saying that is because it got back to her that Lindsay was Googling Owen's wedding date.
And who did it get back to her by?
Of course, the biggest pot stirrer there is.
Who
The
was the
biggest pot
one
stirrer.
who was the one who originally said, "Hey, why don't you Google the blah,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah?" Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so just so you guys know, when we do our Gavin, restaurant crawl, if we do run into Gavin, I am going to call him out. Normally if I see somebody, I'll say, "Oh my gosh, you were my favorite." I'm going to say to Gavin, "Why are you such a pot stirrer? Like, why are you
And you
such
know
a
what?
pot stirrer?"
The
I'm
thing
gonna call
about
him
it
out.
is, but this is the thing. If you really like reality TV, which I do not, but if you do, he's working overtime. He's
Absolutely.
doubling down. He's doing what you
He
reality
thinks he
TV
has to.
people
He's doing
want.
what he thinks he has
No,
to.
I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm not that kind of reality TV person. I do
Me
not want that.
neither. But this is the people Bravo are casting. Look, we've said it a million times. We love Rachel Fuda. We love Danielle Cabral. They were nice, normal housewives. They're not
Right. They
there
weren't
anymore.
about stirring up like
Right.
causing
Because this is
problems.
not what Bravo wants.
If you caused a problem, they were from New Jersey. If you caused a problem, they had no problem like snapping your ass back
Shutting
in
it down.
place.
Right.
But they didn't, that wasn't what their main focus was. Gavin's focus is totally.
Yes. Yes.
But that all comes from insecurity. So sorry, Gavin, but it's true.
It totally does.
I
thought the
totally
table
agree.
looked gorgeous with all those
did too.
candles.
I
You
did
know what?
too. I thought it looked
I
stunning.
thought it looked really lovely, but I bet you it was hot as hell in there because all that drapery insulates all that heat from those candles.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, candles throw off a lot of heat. And I was thinking to myself, my God, I bet you it's hot as hell because the room was enclosed. It was enclosed in fabric. Then you had all the heat from the people. And then they had Indian food. And then you had candles. I was just sweating looking at it.
Yeah, you're right. Yikes.
But it was
I
pretty.
love the presentation of all the dishes.
Awesome. And I
Well,
love
if you could get to that, it was like in between all the I mean, I felt so bad for Yvonne and Nick. I mean, seriously, this was the biggest shit show dinner.
You are on a reality TV show, and reality TV shows are known for dinner scenes that are quite chaotic. So for you to really expect anything else is really kind of foolish.
Well,
I mean, I did feel bad for her
Yvonne, at
too.
one point, tries to shut it down, and then somebody sitting next to her, I forget who it was like, "All right, guys, relax." And Nick says, "No, let them fight." Nick said it.
Well,
I missed that.
he's trying to be funny. He's trying to, But I love Georgina's dress, and I loved Kyle's jacket.
Yes.
Georgina had that pretty green satin. Oh, it was beautiful. And I love Kyle's jacket with the bees on it. I loved it.
I thought Yvonne's speech was very nice. She talked about, how this last year has been the hardest for her. She's had to redefine her career and who she is, and what marriage is all about and how Nick has been there for her. And she's very grateful about, what they're going through. And then we find out that Yvonne and Lexi are both ovulating today, which is hysterical to me. And we find out about the wheelbarrow.
It was a weird dinner combo.
From Andrea. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I don't need a visual of that.
How about when Yvonne's husband was giving the whole speech and Amanda's doing the finger to Kyle? I was just like, okay.
Wait, what?
What was she doing?
She was giving him the finger?
She did a slow rise of the finger. Oh my God, how could you miss it?
I missed it.
Yvonne's husband is giving the speech, Nick, about blah, 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 relationships, ups and downs, blah, blah, blah. You see Kyle, he's looking over at Amanda, nicely. And then Amanda gets this shit-eating grin on her face and does the slow roll up of the middle finger. I can't believe you guys didn't see it.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
I didn't either. I did not
can't believe
either.
you didn't see it.
Wow.
And she was acting like it was funny.
They're very immature.
You're not.
She's
you're not
especially
in that
very
space.
immature.
You're not in that kind of space right now for that to be funny.
For sure.
If you were great getting along, you'd be like, yeah. But no.
Right.
Just like, oh, it was bad.
So then Lindsay asks Amanda how the new apartment is, and she says it's great. And then Gavin once again says, I want to know, the two of you, how are you doing sleeping in separate places? Okay, Gavin.
Yeah. Okay, Gavin. Yeah.
Amanda said it's been fine.
And he says, so Gavin says, I want to know how it's going with you in separate. And she says it's been fine. And she would go to bed before Kyle. And Gavin says, because you were high. He is the Atlanta Angela. I mean, he's the Atlanta Angela in the city. He's just doing way too much, Gavin. He's just doing way too much.
But listen, this is the thing. Amanda and Kyle both have substance abuse issues.
For sure. Well, I don't know if they have substance abuse issues. He likes to drink and she likes to smoke weed. One's no better than the other.
Absolutely.
Well, that's substance abuse issues. How can you not say they have substance abuse issues?
Like they're abusing anything.
No, but what I'm saying is,
I think they are though, because they can't. Neither one can cope without it.
Well, and neither one of them wants to face their lives without it. That's the thing.
Without it, exactly.
Both are hiding behind it.
I
and
agree.
not
I think
and
that's
And
not
they're
yeah.
accusing the other ones of
That's what I'm
doing it more
saying.
than necessary, but it's like, but
But
you're doing
it's
that.
right, but they're
Mhm.
both equally
They're doing the
hiding
same thing.
they're both equally hiding behind that so as to not have to
Deal with
address
the
what's
reality.
really going on in the
Yeah.
reality of their relationship. That's what I mean by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I consider that to be substance abuse issue. I do. If you can't live your life without this to survive, like, and that's a substance abuse issue.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean,
I don't know if either one of them can do that. I'm just saying both of them are using it at this point to, hide away from what's
so then it comes out. So then Lindsay says to Gavin, "You're being so judgmental," and Gavin says, "Well, I'm supporting both of them." And Danielle said, "Well, this is all coming from him," and she's pointing to Kyle. And Danielle said, "It sounds like it's coming from you telling him." And Kyle said, "Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Of course I told him."
Which was
I was
which
like,
was very
like
rude.
that. Well,
He's
I
very
kinda like
rude to Danielle Kyle.
I
He
kinda
really is.
liked it because it's true.
right.
Like, it's not like he was trying to hide something. He was like, "Yeah, and?" Like, what's your fucking point?
Well, because then Kenny jumps in and Kenny said, "Listen, the narrative that's going around here is that Kyle drinks too much and Amanda smokes too much, which is the narrative
Which
that's
is
going
the
around."
narrative, absolutely.
Right.
And
So,
she
I mean,
says, "My smoking is not detrimental to the relationship because I've never cheated after smoking." Okay, she's never cheated after smoking, but you can't say your smoking isn't detrimental to your relationship
exactly.
because if
Right.
it's lowering your sex drive and
Exactly.
you're not getting busy as much, then it's
Well, the problem
detrimental.
is that, like I said, she's hiding behind it. So
Yeah.
she's checking out.
Yeah.
She's checking out, and she's using that to check out.
So and then everyone at the table feels the need to like jump in on this conversation because Danielle jumps in, Gavin, even Georgina says like not having sex when you're high versus cheating when you're high are two incredibly different things. But actually, honestly, they're in my opinion they're not. Then Kenny jumps in and gives his opinion.
No, they are. I mean, she didn't cheat
Like,
on him. She didn't cheat on him.
I mean, she did.
Maybe she
I mean,
did, though.
eventually.
But did she
Yeah. I mean,
eventually?
No. I
yeah.
don't think I think we would know by now. Are you kidding me? If she cheated
You
on
don't
Kyle, we'd know by now. Jesus,
you
Lord
don't
Almighty.
think that
Look
you
at how he's
don't
playing victim now.
you don't think that while she's been married to Kyle in this last season of Summer House, that there was nothing going on with her and
I
Wes?
do.
Come
I
I
do.
know Wendy does. I
Come
personally do
on.
not. I
I
don't think there was anything
I do
physical
too.
going on.
I do too.
I do
I do
too.
too.
I know.
I do too.
Listen, I know I'm in the minority here. I know I am. I really don't think anything physical was going on. Obviously, there was an emotional connection for sure, but I don't think anything physical happened. I don't think their timeline adds up either, but I don't think in the summer it was going on. But listen, I know I'm
But
in the
you even
minority, so I'm
said,
probably
I know,
wrong.
but you even said an emotional connection,
I mean,
emotional
listen, I
cheating is
think
worse than
that,
physical.
I think
Well,
West has had a thing for Amanda since he walked into that house.
Wes
and I
has a thing
think-
for something that's unattainable. He's just an F-boy. He just wants what he
Right.
can't have.
What
And
he
then when he
can't
gets it,
have.
he doesn't want it. That's who
right.
West is. That's who
And
West
I
is.
Absolutely.
think Amanda was very comfortable in her situation with Kyle because Kyle was a shitty husband. But she never did anything about it.
think she was a
could have
shitty
left
wife.
a long time ago. And quite honestly, had she left a long time ago, she would have been better off because
Absolutely.
she was a Bravo favorite and she was friends with Hannah and Paige and Sierra. Like she could have done something with that had she left a while ago. She
I
stayed
think she was a
because she
shitty
was
wife.
comfortable.
She was a shitty
And
wife.
she was comfortable in the position of being the wife of a
The
husband who
victim.
looked like a douchebag on TV.
She's
victim.
comfortable being a victim is what she's
Yeah.
very comfortable
Yes.
being.
And you said that I'm going to totally disagree with you. You said that Kyle's playing victim. First of all, I don't think Kyle's ever played victim. He's owned who he was. He owns who he is.
My God, I think
When he
Kyle's
did
played
that-
victim since he's been on our TV.
When he did the after show, he was worried about Amanda, he was worried about Sierra, and he was worried about Mija's feelings. He never wanted an apology for himself. He was worried about those three other people, which is more than
Both
I can
things
say for
be
Amanda.
true. In the middle of the reunion, he was like, "Hello, why is nobody talking about me? I'm
He
the
said
husband."
it once.
He
well,
was
he
right.
said it.
He said it
But
once. He said it
he should.
once.
I think he should say it. Why
I think he
wouldn't
should
anybody?
too.
He
Yeah,
is the
I think he
husband.
should too. He was the husband.
His wife's gone with somebody else and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just because
I
one
don't know.
cheats, two wrongs don't make a
think
right.
Kyle's played a victim for a long time on TV.
I don't think he plays a victim. I disagree. But we'll move on. Nick says, listen, guys, it's our wedding. Like, let them fight. You're right. He did say let them fight. Yvonne said, I am so over everyone fighting at this dinner table, especially when people show up in a white dress. And Danielle's like, are you talking about me, bitch?
I don't think she really meant to call. Like, I think it was like, bitch.
No, it was just like, yeah, it was just like,
like,
bitch,
what,
like,
bitch,
what?
bruh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
me, bitch?
It
Like,
was
what?
inappropriate on her wedding day.
Yeah,
neither.
it didn't go well.
Yvonne said, you're calling me a bitch at my own dinner? And Lindsay said, well, Danielle, don't call her a bitch. Don't call her a bitch. And Yvonne said, am I allowed to have an opinion at my own wedding? Okay, Yvonne, listen, you're allowed to have an opinion, but let's be real. This is not your wedding. You've had 2 actual weddings. Like, you had your celebration in Mexico, you had your court date, and now this is a dinner. Like,
it's just a dinner.
And no,
it's a dinner.
Not for nothing. It's a dinner for Bravo. This is
Exactly.
not a dinner that you
Right.
have and you have invited your closest friends and family.
Right.
This is
You
a work
invited your
dinner. It's a work
coworkers.
dinner. It's a work dinner. And Bravo
Yes.
probably paid for the work dinner. You
Yeah.
probably didn't pay for it yourself. So it's all shenanigans. But it's just got to be such a really weird thing being in reality TV. Like, because you're almost coworkers / kind of friends. So it's got to be really weird. It's a weird dynamic, you know?
And
It
then
is
in the
weird.
middle, then Gavin starts talking about Kyle and Amanda again. I'm like, what the F is going on? Like, this guy's like a dog with a bone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he cannot read the room and he's rude. And it's his delivery. His delivery
It's totally his
very
delivery.
very invasive. Like, you could ask the same questions that he asked in more of a conversational kind of way, in a certain way, if you do it right. But he's just like, instead of somebody saying, somebody's got a booger in their nose and somebody going like, you got a snot hanging out of your nose. Like, just not.
That's what Gavin's going to do. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right. Because even when, Danielle says, well, you could have told me when I texted you the picture of it. And Gavin's like, oh, wait, there's a text. Well, let's, like he's got to stick his nose into that. Seriously, Gavin, you have to decide about the pink dress now? Like, you are involved in too many things.
I'm like so tired of hearing about Kyle and Amanda's relationship, though. I mean, it's enough.
I've only watched a couple episodes. I didn't even watch the Summer House thing, and it's getting on my nerves. And watch it.
Yeah, like I feel like we've heard enough. Just end it. Call it.
But that's the thing.
It's
like,
true.
I think they have to keep it. They have to drag it out for their paycheck. Like, they have to.
Yeah,
that shit's been over.
At some point, Yvonne gets up and walks away from the table disgusted. But prior to that happening, Georgina says, which I actually think is the one smart thing that was said. She said, Amanda, Kyle, just from someone who's been in your shoes where I've moved out. Like, I moved out of our apartment with someone I was dating for 5 years, and it was to take space, and I thought we'd get back together. But I'll never forget the day I moved out. I was so sad. Like, he went to the gym. And I was so sad. And I remember like saying to myself, yep, like I would have still moved out even if he begged me to stay. Like, he didn't. But like, the fact that the exact same thing happened between Amanda and Kyle. Like, Kyle wasn't there the day she moved out. He wasn't there the day before she moved out. They're not getting back together is basically what Georgina was trying to say. Like, take it from someone who's been there and done this. Like, this. Like, you would need to move on from this. Like, you need to get yourself both in a healthy space.
Yeah.
And now Lindsay's sitting there and she's crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on at this dinner? And it all of a sudden, she says in her confessional, like, it hit her, like when her, her baby daddy and her started dating, like, she thought that this was going to be her guy. And she knew that, like, he didn't like the public person, but they thought that they could figure it out. And like, she's now seeing, once Georgina pointed it out, like, she should have seen that. And how could she have seen that? Like,
yeah.
Unless you're in the, like, you know, hindsight is always 20/20, right? You
Yeah.
can't blame yourself on something you didn't see in the past. I don't know. I thought that was one smart thing. I also thought it was sad that, you know, Yvonne had to get up and walk away from her own dinner.
And did any
Go
of
chase her?
any of them bitches get up?
No.
No.
Okay, so really, quite frankly, Lindsay, instead of crying about her own shit, should have been like, "Okay, this is my friend. This is kind of fucked up. Let me go see what's up."
And honestly, that's what
Lindsay's
Yvonne's
not gonna
problem
follow
was.
her out. Lindsay's
But
not gonna
that's what
follow.
but Yvonne and Lindsay are very close friends, and that's what
Mhm.
Yvonne's problem was. Like, why didn't she come for me? Like, she's
Because
she's
she was
supposed to
having
be
her
my
moment.
girl.
Right,
She was
Right.
having her moment, Lindsay.
She was very busy having her moment.
Yeah. And I'm not
Arms
saying Lindsay's not a
flailing,
good friend because we saw on the
crying, the whole
reunion
thing.
how
Mhm.
she said she had to go pick Sierra up off the floor and get her. I'm
No,
not
she
saying Lindsay's
is.
not a good friend, but she was definitely having her own moment there. And she wasn't going to let Yvonne walking out of her own wedding stop it.
Exactly.
All right, so let's see if we can skip through some stuff.
I loved when Kyle runs away and says, "Any further questions, you can email me." And then he goes down to the bar and he's talking. He's talking to the bartender.
And no
I
one's
was
listening to him.
really pissed.
I wrote down,
Bartender's
like,
like, "Who the fuck are you?"
I'm write down, like, who's he talking to? There's nobody there. Like,
Nobody was listening. That's for
no,
sure.
no, but
That was so funny.
he was ripped up, though. He was
He
ripped up.
was. He was. He was.
He was totally ripped up. I was like,
When Kyle goes down to the bar, Amanda goes over to Lindsay and asks her if she's okay, and she apologizes to her. Amanda hugs her and says that she loves her. Then, meanwhile, Danielle's showing the picture to Gavin of the dress that she texted. Yvonne comes back to the table and, she says to, I think she says this in her confessional. I've known Lindsay for 100 years. I don't care if Lindsay gets activated, but she's not getting activated for the right couple. I'm like your sister, and you're standing on your chair screaming about Kyle and Amanda. Like, I need you to stand on your chair and tell everyone to shut up so that my 5-course dinner can proceed.
absolutely.
Which I completely agree with because
completely agree.
Georgina gives a toast. She gives a nice toast. And then Kyle comes back to the table and brings it back to himself again. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
But this is who Kyle is. And this is who Kyle has always been.
Me not watching the show that this goes with, not watching Summer House, when that other chick starts yakking about, that's not okay. I was like, who the fuck is she? I don't even know who she is.
Who was that?
It was Amanda's best friend. It was the one line.
Oh, Kate.
Yeah, I was like, who's this chick? Like, I was like, okay.
We didn't know
I
her
had no
before
idea.
in the city either, by the way. She's Amanda's best friend since childhood, and we've never met her before. She might have been on Summer House at a party or something.
Oh, okay.
But we've never formally known Katie, Amanda's best friend from childhood. Like, she
cast
came out of
member
the
or
woodwork.
something. Yeah, I was like, whoa. I was like trying to figure out who is this chick?
Yeah, and I
bitching
can
about
tell you,
Kyle.
I pretty much can almost guarantee that since Amanda's not on Summer House, we are not going to see her on In the City, and we are not going to see Katie ever again. Because Katie and Amanda came
never
together.
See Katie again. I'm pretty sure she works for CNN, so she does not need this.
Good, because she's not going to get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But at any point, both Kyle and or Amanda could have said, look, I know we got a lot of shit going on, blah, blah, blah. Let's not talk about us right now.
Right.
We're at Yvonne and Nick's wedding. Let's table this. But
yes,
the both of them were like, woohoo, spotlight on me. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Exactly.
Gross.
So then it comes out that then what we get past the Kyle and Amanda thing, and then we get the Danielle's activated. Yeah. Danielle's activated because of what she found out about Lindsay Googling her and her wedding date.
Then she really should have thought to herself, okay, this fucking shenanigans has gone on good enough.
Yeah.
But she wants to be a reality TV star and shine the spotlight on herself. So she decides to blah, blah, blah. And you know what? She really shouldn't say shit because you're on a reality TV show. What do you think? You thought you were going to bring your still married boyfriend on the show and no one was going to ask about it? And you didn't think
Well, I think
Lindsay
that's
was going to
Lindsay's
ask about
point,
it?
but
That's
come on.
100% Lindsay's
he's
point.
still going through a divorce. He probably can't talk about it. Just like Lindsay's not talking about mediation with her baby daddy. We're
Right.
not
This is
hearing
true
about
too.
we understand it happened, but we're not hearing about it.
Well,
It's
the
a legal
details,
issue.
correct.
This
Right.
guy's divorce is a legal issue, and if it's still ongoing while they're filming, he can't talk about it.
Right. This is true
Like,
too.
but I
Yeah.
I know that's Lindsay's point. Like, why it comes up.
Yeah, well, because
obviously.
that's exactly what happens. Because so Danielle starts yelling at Lindsay, and Lindsay's like, "Why am I getting blamed? Why is this getting blamed on me?" She's like, "Listen, the guys at the Garrett are the one that told me to do this. Like, they're the ones who even said Google it." And Danielle said, "Like, if we were baby stepping in the right direction, then why wouldn't you just text me about it instead of Googling it?" Which I have to agree with her. I agree with her.
Totally agree.
Right? Because they were friends. They were
Yep.
friends. We know that they were
weren't
friends.
show friends. They were real friends.
They were actually real friends, right? And then Amanda and Danielle start yelling at each other because Amanda said, "I asked Owen, was he actually married for 2 years, but knew each other for 4?" And Owen's response to me was, "Well, have you heard of something called COVID?" And Amanda said, "Don't get snappy at me." And then Danielle said, "Well, they keep yelling at each other." And I wrote down, this is actually the worst wedding celebration I've ever seen in my life.
Horrible,
Totally.
horrible.
I love when Georgina says, "I think there's a head in his freezer, and that's why we don't know anything about him."
Oh my God, that was so funny. I wrote that down too. I know.
But Gavin was acting like Maury Povich, like
Yes.
shooting out like interview questions. I don't know if you guys caught this, but I rewound this and wrote it down verbatim. When they were going through the whole "Are you in love with Kyle" thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda says, "If I was in love with this person, I wouldn't be treated this way." What? What are you even talking about?
She said it. Wait, she said if I was, not if I wasn't?
If I was in love with this person, I wouldn't be treated this way.
Yeah.
You
So that means you're not in love.
No, that's not the thing. You being in love with somebody has nothing to do with the way that they treat you.
No, it doesn't.
You understand what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
you're not, did you like smoke before you came? Like, it's not making any sense what you're saying. And I was like, and so I had to rewind it and listen to it again. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's very metaphorical for how she really thinks. Like, she thinks what she said makes sense because it makes sense to her. But it doesn't make sense because, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you're treated has nothing to do whether you are in love with somebody. Like, it should have been like, if Kyle was in love with me, he wouldn't be treating me this way. But she said, if I was in love with this. Yeah, like, I was just like, girl, you're messed up.
That's backwards. Yeah, that's backwards.
Right.
That's backwards.
Right?
She definitely did say that.
It was all back.
So
And
Lindsay
Danielle
starts to say about Danielle, "Why are you on the show then? Why are you on the show?" And Danielle's like, "Oh, that's what this is about." And it is what it's about. The guy got married in 2021 during COVID, couldn't have the big hoopla that the chick wanted. So in 2023, they had the hoopla. They've been married for 4 years. Case closed.
Right.
You can stop investigating. But that is what this is about. Lindsay did not want Danielle on this show. She's going to poke and poke and poke and try to make Danielle look like she's not bringing anything because Lindsay knows that's what will get her off the show.
Really, but this is a thing. Danielle, you knew that the bride was pissed at you already. You should have just shut the fuck up.
She should have shut up.
You had to know
That's
this
what
was
I'm
going to
saying.
come up. And you should have had a better handle on it than, "Why are you investigating him?" Of course they're going to look it up. Of course this is going to come up.
Right.
I'm wondering if she's blaming Lindsay for putting that blind item, this whole Dumois thing. It's very Gossip
The blind
Girl.
item. Yeah.
I think she thinks Lindsay put the blind item out, and she might have.
Oh, and this was the best too. So when Yvonne is getting upset and walking away from the table, Gavin screams over to her, "Can you get me
a drink?
Get me a
Oh my God. Oh my God. I wrote that down too.
She was a waitress at her own party. I was just like, dude, what?
Are you kidding
Such
me?
a tool.
He really
My
is. He
God,
really
He's
is a tool.
Yeah,
He
he was,
really
like,
is a tool.
screaming. Georgina was talking, and he's screaming over her while she's walking away like she's the waitress.
Yes, I wrote that down too. I
My
thought, "Oh
god.
my god. Oh my god." And then Nick starts banging on the table. Like,
Mhm.
I wanna like, I wanna clear this up. Yvonne and I got married a year and a half ago, and then we got married 1 week ago, and this just feels like one long, perfect day as you guys are effing psychos. And I was like, oh my
Mm,
God, like these poor
true.
people are trying to, like, and then that's when Owen explained his exact situation. Oh my gosh, this was the worst. Nick
It was
says, is there
bad.
any alcohol? Is there any alcohol in anyone's glass? Like, can you pass it to me, please? And Kenny's like, I just got this, but I'll sacrifice it for you, man. Yes, Kenny. You needed to and I don't know why there wasn't more alcohol at that table because that's what they needed. Like, that was insanity. That dinner
That was
was
crazy.
insanity. It really
Yeah.
was.
And how about when, Danielle is, like, showing the picture to Gavin,
Yeah.
and she's like, "It was pink, right?" And Gavin's
And he's
like
like, yeah.
"Yeah, but I wouldn't have worn it. I wouldn't have worn it, but yeah." I was like, "Oh
I
my
mean,
god."
so after this shit show of a dinner, and Kenny says, like, there's a lot of tension going on here. So I'm thinking, like, maybe we could all benefit from getting out of the city because now we find out that Lindsay and Kenny have planned a Friendsgiving trip
In
what,
Connecticut.
Connecticut? They're all
Yeah.
going to go to Connecticut together. So we
I
know
mean,
it's got to
what,
be
they're gonna go
November
a
now.
half hour away?
I
Yeah, it's
mean,
good.
probably it could be an hour and a half. I mean,
And
it is
really,
Connecticut.
Not from the
the
city.
only thing that Kenny should have done is given a toast to the bride and groom. That's the
Right.
only thing you should have done.
Right.
It's just so funny.
I mean, it was insane. It was totally insane. But you know what? I am so here for this Friendsgiving, to be quite honest with you. Like,
Me too.
I don't
Me
know. I
too.
don't even know what to expect. We're only on episode 7. I think we only maybe have 8 episodes. That might be it for our first season because I know
Really?
that because I know they already filmed the reunion. I think the first season's short. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that it's short. The first season's short.
Wow.
And how about after Kenny makes the announcement and Yvonne's like, "Oh, you're planning an event? We can't wait
Yeah.
to be there. What fun."
She's like, I'm gonna fuck your dinner all up.
I mean, are they all going to be staying at the same place in
I
Connecticut? Like,
believe
I
so.
feel
Yeah,
like
like,
I
are they
saw
getting,
some
like, a big,
things
huge
for it, but
Airbnb?
yeah.
I mean,
I
you're gonna need a
feel
lot
like
of rooms.
yeah.
There's a
exactly
lot of
what that.
people on this cast.
So I saw a little snippet of it, and Kenny says to Yvonne and Nick, listen, we got this house, but since we like fucked up your dinner, why don't you guys have like first pick of a room?" And then Lindsay chimes in and says, "No, me and Georgina are taking the biggest room because we're moms and we're away for the weekend." I was like,
Well, I think I saw
"Ooh."
that too.
I was like, "Okay. Okay."
I'm so here for this. Maybe we might get 2 episodes, but I don't think there's anything more than that. I really don't.
Yeah.
It was absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. It was
And they're getting a
over the
reunion. They
top.
had a reunion, so
Yeah. And they're coming back. We know there's gonna be another season. They're coming back. So, I don't know. I definitely like the show. I think Carl will be there next season. I really
I
100%
do
think
too.
Carl will be there. We may even get Jesse, and I'll be here for Jesse too. We'll see how Summer
Me
House goes.
too.
We'll
Me
see how
too.
Summer House goes, but I would be here for
Yeah.
Jesse. Lori's like, oh, poor Lori. She's just like, no.
So
No, we have
exhausting.
another season. Can we end?
I'm having wine because it's just too much. I have to
It's too
watch it,
much.
and then I gotta talk about it.
Talk about it. I know it's a lot, but listen, our listeners, McBee Dynasty. We have missed the first 3 episodes. The 4th episode airs on Monday, and we will be recapping it shortly. But I want to say there's a lot of drama going on behind the scenes. I'm telling you, it's big things going on. I don't know if anyone has
Big
seen this.
goings on.
Big things with Jake. Jake is one of the farmhands. He's not family. And supposedly he has an audio recording of Stephen Jr. saying bad things about the help and about the contracts. And
This
if
guy
that's
is
if
he's a nightmare, Stephen McBee Jr.
so Steve McBee Jr. Listen, I've watched every episode so far from the very beginning. I have never disliked anybody as much as I like Steve and and Kelly, you can appreciate this. I dislike Steve McBee Jr., I think probably more than you dislike Kyle right now.
Wow.
Yes. This season 3, all these episodes, because I know what happened. We know that
That's the problem. We're
and
going into this season knowing what came out
but
about him and
even
Allie.
even
but
if
it's
I
the
didn't,
same thing with Amanda. Like
it's the same thing with Amanda. But even if I
you
didn't
already
know that,
because you know what I mean.
just watching the way he operates with his family and the way he puts himself first. He is the most narcissistic person I've ever seen in my life. And I love his brothers. I love Cole. I love Jesse. I love Braden. I love his mom, Christy. His father's a douche just like him. Masha and Galena are freaking crazy Russians, and I'm here for it. But Steve McBee Jr. is the biggest narcissist I've ever seen. And we need to talk about it.
But isn't it amazing though? To me, that's just totally amazing that people would put themselves on television.
He has no idea he's a narcissist.
Watch themselves back and not get any cue as to how fucked up they are. Like they just don't. But how does that happen?
So what's playing right now was recorded prior to this whole thing coming out with these text messages that he had sent his girlfriend.
I know about the text messages. I know about that. I did see
that happened
were
at Stagecoach.
eye-opening.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, I did see that.
Eye-opening.
So the
this
first
was
episode,
already recorded. So we'll see if they bring them back for a 4th season. Then we'll see if there's any accountability on his part. Because on social media, he's acting like he's taking accountability. But a narcissist is a narcissist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I want you guys to watch it. I want you to see
I'm definitely going to watch it. I got to get caught up.
Especially when I told you how I feel. And I don't like to dislike. I like to like, I can't root for this guy. I really can't. I can't. But you will really like Allie and Casey, the fiance and wife of Jesse and Cole. Like Jesse and Cole are really like good salt of the earth, guys. They are hardworking farmers and they want what's best for the family. Steve Jr., he wants what's best for him. He says he's there for the family and he's the oldest and he should be, but he is his father's son 100%. 100%.
He was already on another reality show. What's it called? Joe Millionaire?
Yeah.
Oh, I vaguely remember some show like that.
Yeah.
All right, we're over an hour. We got to shut it down.
All right. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.